Alright, guys. Let's see what you see. Can everyone hear us now? Ahoy, hoy.
Yep, we're good.
Sweet. Holy shit and shinola. Alright. Well, that's
live?
frustrating as all get out.
I was actually wanting to start learning some sign language like in The Quiet Place, man. Shall we just redo
Let's shake this off. Let's shake this off.
Now shake it off.
Hey, everyone. I'm Cecil Laird.
And I'm Jaime Fuego.
And this is the Horror Show News
With booze! Take two.
with absolutely no technical difficulties whatsoever.
None whatsoever. We
Perfect
are
record.
we're
Zero
trained
deaths.
Professionals.
Zero
Yes.
deaths.
Hey, don't. You never know. Only
Fuego.
deaths, only career deaths.
Oh, God. That is a sour drink.
How much did you put in there, sir?
I think that might be the straw that's sour.
I'm drinking an IPA, and this man is drinking. What are you drinking, man?
I'm going to turn this back a little towards you. There
I was
we
going
go.
to say. Yeah.
So I am drinking a mostly vodka, but partially pineapple
Obviously,
and
mostly
cranberry
vodka
drink.
by your reaction.
Yeah, clearly. So that is my drink, yes. Vodka and pineapple.
Okay.
That is with a splash of cranberry.
Are we a little
So
dim?
I apologize. Is a little dim? You think we're a little dim?
All right.
You son of a so-and-so.
No, I'm sorry.
Why are you making me... you fucking... Here, is that better?
Yes!
You like that better?
I am now in Fuego.
No, we're fine.
We're fine,
We're not
okay.
dim.
Okay.
We're not dim. We're perfect.
Yes, we're actually
You
not
son of a
dim-witted. We are
so-and-so.
we are
God damn it.
sons of so-and-so.
All right, Fuego, let's just start off
Just
this
talk
news, would you?
so we can actually get to crying right now because of the fact that just this past week we learned that Ash vs. Evil Dead has been canceled.
Once and for all.
By Stars. And the once and for all that Cecil is referring to is the sheer fact that, Bruce Campbell, you see, after the news was announced, shortly ahead of the series finale, which actually aired tonight on Stars, there was a petition put together by Bloody Disgusting and some other writers and a bunch of different people.
Okay, I can fix that. How's that, Dave? Is that a less hot mic?
We have producer Dave trying to assist us through the bumps
That
in
should
the
be a
road
less
in
hot
the
mic.
process.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, but so immediately after the cancellation was announced, well, of course, a bunch of people started bandwagoning and saying, look, we need to try to get this show on Netflix. Specifically was the destination everybody was pushing for because of the fact that they have the streaming rights for both Season 1 and Season 2. And so, did he just yell?
I think he yelled better.
Better? Hopefully. Man, we're going to get to some streamlined discussion at some point. But, yeah, so after that announcement came about the cancellation, everybody was like, Season 4, maybe, because they already had plans for Season 4. It was going to be post-apocalyptic. It was going to kind of take that slant that we saw in the alternate ending to Army of Darkness, where he takes the extra drop and he sleeps too long! He walks out like Rip Van Winkle status and shizzle. And
Rip Van Ashel?
Yes, exactly. Hey, I like that. I like that. But unfortunately, basically Bruce stomped out those hopes for a lot of fans and stuff, because when all of the petitions started coming together that morning after the announcement of the cancellation, and they were like, let's get it to Netflix, let's show how much the fans still want to see it, and so on and so forth, Bruce himself was the one who took to social media to say, look, I'm done with this role. You know, I'm officially retiring playing this Ash character. Even if there is interest from another streaming service or network or whatever, I'm just done with it, you know? And it seemed that, well, it was what's the word I'm looking for? It was very
sure.
well. It was melancholy in the sheer fact, but I mean, he almost sounded a little defeated, even though he was. He
sounded like a fighter that was done going rounds.
Exactly, you know, and you could tell he was definitely just disappointed about Stars canceling the show, but he was very gracious. He thanked Stars. He was like, "Look, you guys basically got 15 or 16 hours more of content," and he's like, that's the equivalent of X amount of movies, so just be happy that you got more Ash in general, as opposed to whining about the fact that our plans for a 4th season have been axed. And so this is disappointing, obviously. I'll still watch Bruce in anything he does. I love Bubba Hotep. I loved Jack of All Trades. I mean, so much of the other stuff that he's done I really liked.
Well, he framed it in the best way possible, the same way I tried to frame watching the show. Over the course of 3 seasons, we got enough material to equal 10 new Ash or Evil Dead or Army of Darkness movies.
More or less.
That's unheard of, the fact that we got that many sequels when you really break it down.
Yep, and there are some episodes better than others. But
Now, honestly, what this means to me is I'm going to really cherish and really enjoy that third season once I get to sit down and watch it, knowing that it's the last version of Ash I'm ever going to get.
And they said that they framed the season finale as a series finale just in case they got canceled, because they knew ratings that started really strongly with that first season that you and Dave and I covered episode by episode.
Yep.
Yeah, you can find that here on the channel.
Yep.
The second season, I thought, didn't really live up quite as well, especially with the
I enjoyed the second season, but we didn't review it episode by episode.
No, we didn't. I mean, I love the Ashy Slashy puppet stuff, but the Lee Majors stuff didn't work as well for me. So it showed that the series was becoming more hit and miss. And unfortunately, since I don't have stars, I'm part of the problem. You know,
yeah.
I was not watching. I was not watching
it.
this episode by episode, and so they framed it as a potential series finale, even though they had ideas for a fourth season. And so that's a bummer. There's been people trying to figure out how the universe could continue without him. You know, should we, petition Fetty from Don't Breathe to do a sequel to his remake? You know, bring the Mia character back. Could you take a Kelly character or Paco or some of these other people and pair them with
Kelly?
Exactly. That's my Lifescapades reference from South Park, as I did so many times in that first season. But maybe it is just time to let these corpses rest. I don't know. I'm still disappointed by this
maybe
news,
give him 5 years away and he'll be ready to come back and do that movie.
Well, because they had originally said there was tentative plans to cross over the Mia character from the remake and Bruce,
that would
because
be so cool.
It would have been awesome. As grisly and gross and insane as that remake was, I still can't say I love it, but I appreciated it in how nasty it tried to be, I guess. So, what do you guys think? I mean, mentioned here in the chat, talk amongst yourselves. Were you real big fans of the Ash vs. Evil Dead couple seasons of this series, or do you think it was just okay, and you're not really too upset about his retirement from the character, which is what this
he's one of my favorite horror characters, so I am of course upset.
Oh, of course. Between him and Reggie from Phantasm, I mean, those are my two absolute favorites from this.
I am way more upset about Ash than I would be about Reggie retiring. So anyway.
Oh, I love Reggie Bannister.
All right, next story.
Well, the next one is another bummer session because of the fact that, despite the fact that on Tuesday, May 1st, we are getting Tremors 6, A Cold Day in Hell, or whatever the flip they're
we
calling
will
it.
be reviewing day of, because you are coming here to do some reviews.
Tuesday, so
I will go and buy it, and we will watch it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because we love us some Burt Gummer and them graboids, man. And Jamie Kennedy's coming back, who was much more tolerable than Cecil anticipated in Tremors 5. And so this is kind of a dual story because of the fact that they are already apparently have Tremors 7 in development. But the same time we get that news announcement, we find out, I think it was even the same day, that there has been this series that was initially in development on Amazon, then it shifted gears over to Sci-Fi, the same network that had that previous Tremors series that had the dude from Family Ties in it, dude who plays Mr. Gummer and
Burt
stuff.
Gummer.
Exactly. And
Amanda.
Apparently they did a pilot, and the pilot was apparently passed on by Sci-Fi.
That is such a huge
which is
letdown.
Just nuts to me, because there were so many industry people tweeting about how they wanted to direct episodes of this show, different genre
Why
people
would they
and stuff like
pass
that.
on it? Like,
why
Tremors
would they pass
is
on
such
Lock
a
and Key?
series.
That
doesn't make sense either. But Tremors at least is a proven property where these movies keep doing well.
Yeah.
Like, why would you pass on that? Especially with Kevin Bacon attached.
And everybody
Doesn't
who
make
saw
sense.
it said it was
Boo!
awesome. Well, they said it was awesome, and also the fact that he stayed in perfection, and the story behind this was the fact
Give
that
everything to Netflix. Just let Netflix do everything.
I kind of concur at this point, because it was originally supposed to be on a streaming service where they could have gone balls out. I know Sci-Fi has been looser with their violence and cursing and things of that nature recently, but I still thought that was a weird home for this particular property. There's no guarantees it will end up on another network or streaming service or whatever, but there's no reason why it couldn't, especially with this pilot floating around. I don't know. I'm definitely disappointed, especially since there was also tweets going around that Fred Ward was involved in this.
I know, I just heard that. We just covered that in the last week's news.
We did. So we're talking like double bummer status.
Double whammy.
Exactly. This is some Burt Gummer double bummer status in a row type shit.
Burt Gummer double bummer.
Yeah. So I don't know what to say beyond the fact that two iconic series, one that we love and was already on TV, and another one that appears that it's not going to make its way back there. So let's get to some better news. I'm really up for some better news. And
this is good news to me.
This is
some people might not think so, but
who the hell doesn't like?
And we will not spoil, but we will say that we officially have a sequel in place being developed for A Quiet Place.
That didn't take long.
Nope. Now, Fuego, do we know if this is involving any characters from the first movie?
That's the one thing that they had not specified. All that they did was this past week at Cinemacon, and we're going to give you guys a little bit more of a breakdown of some of the other things they mentioned at this, but this was a huge one because of how successful this film has been in just a few weeks already this year. Look at that reaction.
Oh.
That is hardcore, bro.
What the fuck is going on? It's so bad today.
Ugh, that's on you. You mixed that drink, man.
I think something has gone bad.
The milk has gone bad. Anyway, so A Quiet Place has done gangbusters at the box office on a lackluster, not lackluster budget, but just a meager budget. You know, less than 20 million. I think it was like 15 or 16, something like that. But it won the box office its first weekend, made almost 50 million.
That's amazing. The movie's so good.
The second week, it just barely lost out to Rampage, and then in its third weekend, it won again. Now, this weekend,
I still need to go back and watch Rampage.
Now, this weekend, it lost to, obviously, Avengers Infinity War, which is officially now the highest-grossing opening weekend ever for any film ever. However, A Quiet Place still made over 10 million this weekend.
Against Avengers?
Against Avengers. It still made over $10 million.
Dude, A Quiet Place is a quality movie.
It's exceptional.
It is so good. You need some Nuka-Cola. Yeah, I'll take some Nuka-Cola.
Yeah, so obviously,
fantastic news. I mean, here's the thing, though.
You and I speculate if it's going to follow
I would be
Emily
just
Blunt,
I would be just as happy if it was following them as I would be moving to a completely different group of characters in the same world.
Same. This is actually one where I think Anthology would work perfectly fine.
Anthology, every movie, a different set of characters set within the Quiet Place world. Fine. Thank you. More creature movies in the world, please.
Yes.
And thank you.
Bring back Krasinski, though. I want to see him direct again. I do not want to see...
I don't think he would have unless it was the Emily Blunt story. I think he would step aside if it was not.
Well, you know, he had the script before he cast his wife, though.
No, I know, but I think my point still holds. That's my opinion.
Well, maybe they could do it 2, and then she returns for 3, and she crosses over with the 2 character.
I'm not dabbing, blowing my nose in the correct sneezing in the right way.
Sneeze, 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 sneeze. Hey, who is excited about the fact that A Quiet Place sequel will, in fact, be a reality? There's no release dates or anything like that yet. There's no directors' names attached, whatever, even nothing beyond the approach. But, you know, I'm actually totally stoked about this. It was a fantastic film. The beer has gone bad. Amanda Tamayo.
It's not beer, it's vodka. The pineapple's okay,
but I'm suddenly thinking.
No, it's not that it's settled. I think it's the fact that the cranberry juice that I put a splash of has been in and out of the fridge for days.
I'm like suddenly, but she referenced just now the part in Can't Hardly Wait where remember dude walks up and he takes a sip and he's like nobody drink the beer.
Yeah, you do that and fix me something that tastes.
Nobody
good,
drink
please.
the beer. The beer has gone bad, and everybody looks at him all crazy, and they're like, tastes like beer to me.
Just give me one with a pineapple mixer. It's just skip the cranberry.
Beer is already bad. I mean, come on.
Please, thank you.
So, yeah, long story short, Quiet Place 2, who is stoked? I most certainly am. So, this is another one that, in our following story, we know Marsha Parker is going to be stoked as hell about this.
Hell yeah!
When we told her that there was going to be a release date for this, she got supremely excited. Now, I must admit, I was not an Are You Afraid of the Dark person, because I never had Nickelodeon until I was like 17.
Yeah, but all it is an anthology revival.
No, I know. It's an anthology revival, and it was basically like the young kids version of like Tales from the Crypt, and so, I mean, this guy's jumping away, and that's totally fine. I didn't have cable until I was 17, so by that point I had no interest in watching Snick or, you know, Rugrats or Rocco or, you know, any of that stuff. So I'm actually one of the uninitiated about Are You Afraid of the Dark? I mean, the furthest I got into something similar was Goosebumps, obviously, which many people have. Goosebumps, exactly, dude. And, you know, I love the Fox Kids Goosebumps so much more so than, you know, the Jack Black film that we got. However, since I love anthology storytelling, and, you know, I know within this it was a Canadian production initially, they're all sitting around the campfire. So this is one that I feel like I just don't know if it would age as well, because when I went back to watch Tales from the Dark Side, it had aged very, very poorly, and that's why...
Are You Afraid of the Dark has not aged super great. I watched a few episodes with Marsha Parker.
I know.
As a part of her podcast,
Is it
the Latchkey Kids.
Yes, which is long since defunct, unfortunately, after she had her child.
It is.
But who knows if it won't come back.
That's a perfect opportunity for to start doing a podcast, Marsha. You're just sitting there, taking care of your kid.
Oh, that's way better.
Got the perfect audience.
Yeah, it was definitely the cranberry that had gone south.
So,
Ooh,
are
that
you
was
guys
rough.
excited for the fact that at Cinemacon just this past week? So, there's lots of Cinemacon news this, in this installment of our show because of the fact that in Vegas just this past week. Now, it's one that only has very exclusive,
Sandra, I haven't.
only
Sorry.
exclusive bits of the journalists get to go and cover this one. And who knows if maybe if we had applied, who the hell knows? But it's usually. Cinemacon is more so for the distributors and for the people who are actually going to pick up these properties and try to market them and stuff like that. So there's a few select journalists that get to cover it, but I loved Goosebumps. Welcome to the Dead House, Monster Blood, Say Cheese and Die, Ghost Beach. There was some pretty Night of the Living Dummy long before James Wan made it into a movie called Dead Silence. There was some good Goosebumps. But anyway, Are You Afraid of the Dark has an official release date now, and it is coming October 11th of 2019. So any of y'all who are stoked about that particular property getting its due share, look forward to that. I'm going to take a sip of my beer as we jump into this next story, which is actually more young adult horror kind of approach. But
Okay.
this is one I actually did read as a kid and scared the living fuck out of me as a kid.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're drinking beer.
Whoa.
We're drinking beer, sir.
Relax the back. You went crazy with that.
Now, I have to say, Alvin Schwartz, I want to say his name is? Yeah, Alvin Schwartz, man. I've talked many times about my affinity for scary stories to tell.
Your affinity for Infinity War?
Well, that too. But
yeah.
scary stories to tell in the dark, man.
Love that.
That was so good in the fact
Love
that
it.
I stumbled upon it in the children's portion of the Phoenix Library, and as I brought it home and tried to hide it from my parents because the illustrations were what, even more so than the storytelling, gave me nightmares. Because those painted illustrations were so, like, goopy and, like, just grimy.
Why do you have to describe it that way?
Because that's the way that they looked to me.
Goopy?
Well, yes, very goopy, dude. They were slimy.
Very goopy, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, whether it was the window washer, I'm here to wash your windows,
I'm here
and stuff
to wash
like
your
that.
windows.
Or also the one where the kid, I mean, the one that I've talked to you about numerous times because it's the one that stuck out in my head more so than any other.
The Viper. You were talking about the Viper.
The Viper. I'm here to wash your windows.
I'm here to wipe your windows.
Yes, but the one that always sticks out to me is the one where the kid finds the old Indian drum out in the woods, and when he picks it up and he starts playing it, and he just keeps playing faster and faster and faster and faster, and then all of a sudden an Indian arrow comes from out of nowhere and right through his heart and kills him. That was the type of shizzle that really scared the crap out of me as a kid. And there was other ones where, like, you pick up the hitchhiker girl, and then turns out she's dead, and it was the epitome of, at that time in my life, and I was like maybe 4th, 5th grade, and I was discovering this kind of stuff. I mean, I was watching stuff like Twilight Zone and Tales from the Crypt, and so I loved the twist ending so very much, and this was tailor-made for me. Most of the stories were less than 10 pages,
Yeah.
and I think they had 3 different volumes.
Oh,
I have the
stories.
hardcover collection. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep, you're fine.
I'm a little behind on the thumbnails.
Look at that artwork, though, man. It was honestly,
Yeah.
it was the artwork that messed me up more so than anything else because it helped give such a visual, just pinpoint to springboard from, and it's there was
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was the perfect entree into horror for me.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would be hard pressed to say whether I first watched a horror movie or whether I first read these books.
That's a good point. I might be in the same boat
because these books were so scary to me on such a weird level. Like it was definitely the artwork.
Yes,
definitely the artwork that got me. But the stories.
Hence your confusion. You thought I was still talking.
I was. Yeah. No. They it was so crazy because what is going on? Oh. Thank you. Yeah.
Sure it was on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I loved these books because they genuinely freaked me out. Mostly because of the artwork, but there were some stories. Like there was the one story about the pitcher that was like he had 2 dead friends that had played on his baseball team, and like the end of the story was like we have good news and bad news. Or like the good news is there's baseball in the afterlife. The bad news is you're scheduled to pitch on Tuesday. It was like, oh shit! Like, yeah, like that was one of the stories, and like that was the funnier version.
Yeah.
But a lot of them were really scary, like the origins
there were
of.
some with the dark humor though that just really balanced it. And then there were other ones that had no humorous aspects whatsoever.
No, there were like the scary ghosts in the woods, or the. I think there was a version of the Hook story where the person like was thumping against the car. Like I think there was the Scary Stories version of that.
That's
tale.
an old urban legend. And he actually gives a preface to a lot of those stories. You know, Schwartzman, where he's like, yeah, most of these are just me kind of fashioning, you know, stuff that, and, stories I heard as a kid and stuff like that.
Sam, you've never read them? Wow, dude, get the Scary Stories hardcover. These tremendous. Are bomb, dude. Honestly, after I finished the Hellbound Heart, my next startling story time was going to be doing Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
After I do the Stephen King.
Yeah, after you do that.
Yeah. After that.
But
the cool information to give about Scary Stories is the fact that Guillermo del Toro, actually, let me preface this differently. Academy Award winner Guillermo del Toro, yes, Best Director winner Guillermo del Toro, is he's not directing this, unfortunately. However, he is writing it, he is producing it, and he has handpicked the guy who directed, what is his name? He is Andre Overado. He's the guy who did Autopsy of Jane Doe and Troll Hunter. He is going to direct this movie, and then that is just such amazing talent being put together for this. And they're going to kind of turn it into not so much a anthology per se. It's going to be a group of kids in a small, quiet town, that see all these crazy different things transpiring, and they're trying to solve a mystery of a bigger evil power. So it does sound a little Stranger Thingsy to me, but this idea has been in development since even before that series went into production. So Guillermo has had an idea, but he finally got the financing, and it has been greenlit by CBS Films and Entertainment One. So this is officially a reality as opposed to a rumor, which is pretty rad status in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm super excited about this. I don't care how we get it. Give me Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark in any way, shape, or form. I'm on board.
Agreed. So,
next!
The next one is...
Next!
Move down. All right. Next one.
Annibal!
So the next one is a follow-up to a story. Yeah, Annibal?
We have Annibal in the chat.
We have Annabelle in the chat, and we have Annabelle to talk about next. And so this is a follow-up to a story that we did last week, where we were like, okay, they've officially dated a new Conjuring universe film. We know that later this year we have The Nun coming. We know that we also have The Crooked Man in development, and a few other things.
There's something wrong with the mic again.
Really bad, huh?
Try unplugging it, plugging it back in.
It sounds fine.
No, I have it really low.
I can turn it down.
And
sound really bad now. Wow, weird. Okay. All right.
Technical
you have the fan blowing right at the mic now.
We're trying, guys. This has been a work through it evening.
All right, I unplugged and plugged it back in.
You're hearing all the behind the scenes, fun stuff. Underwater news with booze.
Underwater,
Mikey,
geez.
Trauma Trash. Damn. Dave, wow, sound.
Is it better?
Is it better?
Sorry, guys. I don't know what's up with the sound tonight.
We did have a fan blowing right at the
Yeah, we had a
microphone.
fan blowing right on the microphone, so that might have not helped. Anyway, Fuego.
Can I...
Go ahead, please, continue.
Provided we're okay. What's that? Okay.
I don't know, let's go.
Yeah, in any event, I was talking about the fact that this
It's
was
okay, Ms. Morning says. Thank you.
This was a follow-up.
That's much better, okay.
This was a follow-up to last week's story where we announced that there was an untitled Conjuring. There was an untitled Conjuring. I saw that. There was an untitled Conjuring universe film that was announced for July 3rd of 2019, but nobody knew what the hell it was. And you and I did some massive speculation last week about what the hell it could be. I said that I thought it was going to be Conjuring 3. You said you thought it was going to be Crooked Man, if I recall correctly.
I was hoping it would be The Crooked Man.
Well, crazily enough, before we even get a Conjuring 3 film, we're getting Annabelle 3, which I am just, I'm perplexed is the best way that I can put it. What is going on here, man?
I don't care about Annabelle.
I like
the second one was fine, but it's still
pretty damn good.
Yeah, but they closed the loop. They're up to now Annabelle 1. There's nothing Now it's just going to be, no, I don't want any more Annabelle. Well, I'm done.
And as much as I am in the minority opinion about this, I hated Lights Out. I fucking hated Lights Out. But I really liked Annabelle Creation. And, I don't know. I felt like the reason Annabelle Creation worked so well was for two factors. The directing, which was not a problem in Lights Out. It was the writing and the acting in Lights Out that I had an issue with. But also the performance by both of those young girls was tremendous. And so I don't know why you would do a third Annabelle film before your third Conjuring movie. Man. Probably because of the fact that they're still trying to figure out who the hell is going to direct Conjuring 3 since James Wan is apparently not going to do it. Which is
just like Insidious.
Weird. Yeah, he just takes a step away from
running his properties into the ground, please. Please?
Yeah.
Please?
So apparently
please?
Annabelle 3 is
please?
your July 3rd.
Please.
Apparently, Annabelle 3 is your July 3rd, 2019 release from the Conjuring universe. Right. So that will be the next one after The Nun. And
F Annabelle 3. What up? Hashtag F Annabelle 3.
Thug life, yo.
Next.
Yeah, let's jump over to another thing about a franchise that I feel like is trying to figure itself out at this point.
Trying to figure itself out?
Exactly.
That's weird.
Trying to go, well, hey, different strokes for different folks, man.
Different strokes?
So as a weren't we just talking about...
Sorry. I'm so belligerent right now.
That was Family Ties. Family Ties versus Different Strokes. Which was better?
I don't know.
That's a horrific question to even pose.
I can't answer that without getting into trouble. So go ahead.
Well, in any event, if we're talking different... I love what you did with the photo. That's very funny.
You like it?
So another announcement out of Cinemacon. Do you like it?
I was like, well, it doesn't make sense if I just have a picture of the Cloverfield monster if it's not part of the Cloverfield universe. So,
well,
boom!
A lot of peeps like the first Cloverfield. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. My introduction to T.J. Miller.
I thought it was just.
Okay. It legitimized found footage on a bigger scale than I think even. Well, no, I think Blair Witch legitimized found footage on a huge scale. Cloverfield legitimized big budget found footage.
Yeah, which is what it was. Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams produced and stuff like that. So I can't say I was the biggest fan of the original Cloverfield, but I thought it was okay. Ironically, the one that I really enjoyed was where they took a different film and retrofitted it to become a Cloverfield film, and that was the 10 Cloverfield Lane. I thought that movie was awesome, and I still have not watched the God Particle that was turned which was talked into Cloverfield Station, and
God Particle? Blah.
Yeah, which otherwise known as what? Cloverfield Station, right? Or
Cloverfield Paradox.
Cloverfield Paradox, okay.
You didn't bother watching it, which you shouldn't have, because it was garbage.
Well, I still need to watch it at some point, because I know there was a little bit of time.
The last 5 seconds. You could literally watch the last 20 seconds of the movie and be totally caught up.
Well, they had said that originally, this film, which is being produced by Bad Robot, it's an R-rated...
Bad Robot!
It's being released... You're throwing me off, you sucker. So... It's the first R-rated Bad Robot film, and it's called Overlord, and everybody, including the Bad Robot people and JJ himself, had said that this World War II film about these soldiers that go
it's the World War II one that's not going to be part of it?
Yes. And this is the crazy thing, though, because it was essentially about World War II guys that go into Nazi Germany, and they discovered that some of these experiments with, like, opening up other dimensions and shit that these Nazis had been working on, there's evil supernatural forces coming.
That would have been cool.
And the fact that it's R-rated, dude, it just excites the hell out of me.
Been cool.
But I feel like maybe they wanted to make this a Cloverfield film similar to what they did with these past two films.
They just wanted to acquire it and fold it into the universe.
And fold it in, but maybe they realized,
this could stand on its own?
Well, not only that, maybe they were just thinking, they're like, is
it that story?
This is maybe a little too violent, and maybe it doesn't fit into the universe.
Is it that story, though, just not part of the Cloverfield universe? Is it World War II with experiments?
It's that exact same story, but it is not being retrofitted for the Cloverfield universe.
That's fine. Now. Fuck it. I don't care.
Which excites me because that story sounded...
It's the story that was exciting, not the fact that it tied into Cloverfield.
It sounded like it could tie into Cloverfield, but... the fact that they just kind of realized it, like, maybe...
Cecil's so wasted, bro. Hey, how dare you, Jeremy? That's rough. That's so rude.
But I mean, I'm assuming that they just realized we can't kind of fit. It's almost like putting a square into a circle kind of thing, you know, with your old like Lincoln Log sets or whatever the hell they may have been. You know, it just wouldn't fit. And for better or for worse, I think that is in fact the wiser choice, because if you have an R-rated film and it's going to be the first R-rated film produced by Bad Robot and released under their label and everything, don't try to tone it down. Don't try to make it into something that it's not. You know, just let them roll with it. But the interesting thing is they did in fact confirm that even though they have decided to abandon making this into a Cloverfield film, there is in fact a true fourth sequel that is in development. Now, we don't know if this is a sequel to the first film or just going to fit in the universe or whatever.
Hopefully it's an actual fucking Cloverfield sequel for once, instead of a movie that they're just like, let's piss on it and call it Cloverfield. Ugh, so frustrating.
I can sense your frustration.
Allergy pills and booze, what a mix. Hey, Sandra, why is everyone saying that I'm acting like super blasted? I'm not acting that super blasted. This is frustrating. Fuego, am I acting super blasted?
No, not really.
Yeah, thank you very much.
There was some frustration about mechanical difficulties or whatever initially, but
technical difficulties. I mean, mechanical, sure.
It's all mechanics, whatever.
I'm not really Cecil with Robbie the Robot. By the way, stay tuned to the channel for my review of Lost in Space Season 1.
There you go.
Now, Fuego.
Season 1, you watched the whole thing?
Oh, yeah, it was fucking good.
Ooh.
It was really good. I loved it.
Trailer looked great.
Yeah, right, no. So Fuego, episode. Season, I was going to say Season 8, then I was going to say Episode 8, and now I'm just going to say Story number 8, which is actually Story number 8, 9, and fucking 10, because Fuego likes to squeeze stuff in. So.
Well, and that's because of the fact that this is almost a lightning round of Cinemacon, because of the fact that we could not do like a dozen stories about this.
No, I'm not, Sam.
And there's actually one other one that I wanted to discuss that I'm just going to give a brief mention to. So Cinemacon, as we mentioned earlier,
8, 9, 10, and 11.
Sure, this one goes to 11. Why not? So we got some additional information this past week about both the Terminator sequel, which is technically Terminator 2.5 or something, because they're retconning...
Because it's got Linda Hamilton in it.
Well, they're retconning Rise of the Machines. They're retconning Salvation.
Thank God.
Yeah, Salvation was shit. You know, I got into a debate with Lou the other day at work where I was saying...
Salvation was better than 3. Yeah.
Who is with me? Rise of the Machines with Arnold is better than Salvation with the dude from Avatar.
No.
Who's with me?
I liked what they did with Salvation. I liked the Terminator things. I liked the giant, like, destruction thing. I liked
Nick Stahl and Claire Danes.
I hated Nick Stahl and Claire Danes. Hated them.
I didn't like the girl.
Hated it!
Okay. You own that hatred, sir. No, I personally prefer Rise of the
Men on Film throwback.
And you know what? I did not dislike Jenny Smith, but nonetheless, it was just okay. The fact that they were trying to do the pocket universe different, but that is one thing that makes complete sense in the Terminator universe for retconning and going to a different timeline, is because there's so many alternate timelines in the Terminator universe and all of their different things that, you know, just basically going as a sequel right after 2 makes complete sense. And so at Cinemacon, they showed the first bit of artwork, and they also gave some additional details and gave the official title of this new movie that is being produced by James Cameron and being written by
the title?
Miller. Take a guess. Terminator.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Yeah, there is no subtitle. They're not even putting the at the beginning. It's
Terminator after Judgment Day.
It just kind of makes me laugh because I think about the other story that we're going to talk about here with, like, we had Predator, and then we had Predator 2, and then we had Predators,
and now we have
The Predator.
Guys, get creative, for God's sake.
Do your fucking
How about
work,
just call
man?
it Predator, the reboot? Like,
it's not a reboot. It's technically a sequel because Jake Busey is playing Gary's son. But that's in a moment.
From part 2?
Yeah. We talked about this before. We talked about this before.
You think I can listen to everything we talk about on the news?
No, probably not.
No.
Not even our co-hosts listen.
No.
We're glad you guys
are co-hosts? We're the only ones that pay attention to the news.
When you mention the Marsha earlier today, and she was like, really? That's happening?
Yeah. I was like, Marsha, there's a great source for horror news that you can find. Subscribe to the Horror Show channel, and you'll find the best news Sundays, every Sunday.
Yeah, but long story short, the cool thing for me was
Tony.
Was that in all of the art and some of the promotional material that they showed, it was prominently displaying Linda Hamilton. So they're going to put her at the forefront of this.
By the way, the last time I saw Linda Hamilton was in a straight-to-DVD sci-fi kind of movie, and time had not been kind to her.
Well, she was already looking pretty.
Let me look it up. I'm going to look it up.
Well,
I'm going to look it up.
I don't think that's very fair at her age, sir. But nonetheless,
I'm going to look it up.
I'm going to say that she is a tremendous actress, and I don't. Well, actually, no, that's right. They prefer to all be called actors now, and I feel bad for even saying that. But yeah, just the fact that her and Arnold are both coming back, presumably in supporting roles. We have what is his name? Gabriel Luna, who played
Gabriel Luna.
Gabriel Luna. Yeah, he was a ghostwriter on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, I want to say. Then we also had Mackenzie Davis, who was a super babe, who was on, well, she's been in many things, but most notably for me recently was the Blade Runner 2049. She was fantastic in that. And so, I think you found your white whale, sir. There you go.
That's the one.
She's old, dude. I mean, be nice. That's not cool.
Oh, you're right. You know what? You're right. Okay, so here's what was going on behind the scenes. I was looking up.
We still have Cloverfield up.
Oh shit! I marked the wrong thing. Wait, what did I?
Well, in any event, Terminator, guys, is coming out on November 22nd, 2019, directed by Tim Miller, who did the first Deadpool movie.
I looked up a screenshot from Bermuda Tentacles, which is the last thing I saw Linda Hamilton in, which was a sci-fi movie.
Sci-fi Channel movie?
Sci-fi Channel movie, which is why I was going to pull that up, and then Fuego said, you shouldn't pull that up, and I said, you know what, you're right. I should not, but if you guys want to know what I was looking at, it was Linda Hamilton, Bermuda Tentacles.
Well, there you go. I'm excited for this movie. I think there is enough talent assembled. The fact that it seems like it's going to be taking place down in Mexico, which, remember, they went to hide out in Mexico at like halfway through T2, which I thought was super dope. So, hey, I'm all for this. So, got some information about that. And then also they tossed out the first footage from Glass, the Split/Unbreakable sequel. That film is coming out January 8th.
How did the trailer do?
People were raving about it on social media. Nice. Who were there? You know, everybody was saying, and there was an image that popped up, which was just a little. Oh, we moved around a little bit. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
The promotional stuff that has popped up thus far. It's basically got Samuel L. Jackson in the purple. It's got, for whatever reason, like...
That's a weird look for him, though. He looks so out of place compared to the other two.
Have you seen the photo? Please bring up the photo.
All right.
Real quick if you can.
Okay.
The Glass photo with the three of them, it's got like an orangish look for Mr. McAvoy. And then you've got...
That's not gonna work.
Cecil searches Glass pick. Yeah, Glass movie pick, perhaps. But you've got this like emerald green going for, and it's like a pseudo movie poster type thing. I'm not seeing it in.
Let's see. Glass
in
movie poster. Boy, we're having a real hard time.
Maybe just
here.
say Cinemacon, sir. Anyway,
Glass Cinemacon.
So it sheds all of them in a very that's the one.
That's the one.
Right there in the middle. Yeah,
right
put that up.
There.
Yeah. So you guys will
tell
see.
Me what to do.
We've got the orange, we've got the purple, and we've got the genuine emerald green. When remember before, it was like almost a
emerald green.
It was almost like a camo, like kind of brownish green that was going down. And so that's there was a lot of people very critical of this artwork. I honestly don't have too much of a problem with it, but I'm actually incredibly encouraged that Sarah Paulson is in this film, and she apparently plays very heavily into the story of the fact that certain people like Glass and the Beast or whatever the hell McAvoy's character was calling himself, they're in custody, and there's some sort of jailbreak aspect, and you know there's a team up presumably between Bruce's character and between Anya Taylor-Joy's character. I'm so stoked for this movie because for me the best things that Shyamalan ever did were Unbreakable, and I really do like Signs, but Split
The Sixth Sense.
It was spoiled for me before I saw it, so that was one
Doesn't make it any less of a brilliant movie.
It was a really good movie, but I like Unbreakable better. Do you not? Apparently not, based on the slowly moving mouth.
You can get out. You can just get right the fuck out.
If you don't like the horror, you can get out.
Get out of here right now. No, I love The Sixth Sense. Love The Sixth Sense. I think it's a masterwork. I think
it's really good. I will not deny it. I will not deny it.
No. It's amazing. It's amazing for what it accomplished. It's amazing for cinematic appeal. It's amazing for acting appeal. It's amazing for story appeal. It is flat out amazing. Unbreakable is as well, but on a much more subtle level. Much more subtle level. It took me 2 watches set apart, probably 10 years apart. I watched Unbreakable when it came out in the theater, was extraordinarily underwhelmed. When I watched it later, loved it.
It was a superhero movie far before superheroes were even a thing.
It absolutely was.
So I mean,
it was an origin story.
That's why the movie has aged so much better, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it can be appreciated a lot more.
And then that was what was so great about the last one that he did, because it was
the ending of Split.
It was the origin of a villain. It was so good, so good.
Yeah, so this is one I'm extremely excited about. Once again, January 18th, 2019. And then the last bit that we have to mention is that they debuted the first footage from The Predator. It's apparently a trailer that we're going to see hopefully very soon.
Really?
Shane Black and Fred Dekker. Fred Dekker directed Night of the Creeps and did a lot of work on Tales from the Crypt. Shane Black, he hasn't really done as much horror stuff, but he knows how to write snippy, smart dialogue, as we know from stuff like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, The Nice Guys. I mean, he is really talented. He also wrote the Lethal Weapon films, the early couple of those, Long Kiss Goodnight. So the dude can really script awesome action. He apparently decided to go back and rewrite the third act of this film and do some massive reshoots, which I think we talked about a few weeks ago here on the show. But they showed the first footage, and they also gave the first official synopsis, and they are going suburbia. It's officially confirmed.
Okay.
And I don't know what I think about that. The way that they essentially...
I'm down.
Are you?
Yeah.
Even though they did Alien vs. Predator in Suburbia?
I don't care.
No?
What? They didn't do it in Suburbia?
They totally did, dude.
Alien vs. Predator?
Requiem?
Barely.
It was in a small town, man. I mean, come on.
No, I'm down. And that was the part that I loved the most. Absolutely.
Well, basically, if we're going to read the synopsis and for verbatim, is the fact that you have some PTSD soldiers that one of them saw a predator at one particular time when he was in Afghanistan.
Sure.
And that's the Boyd Holbrook character who was in Logan.
Okay.
So he is back in this small town that also has the Jacob Tremblay, whatever, the kid who was in Room with Brie Larson and stuff. He's a celebrated little child actor. So essentially, they inadvertently give a signal of some sort to these genetically altered predators. So the one thing that Shane Black is bringing to the table is the fact that predators have been going from planet to planet and beefing themselves up with DNA from other species.
I don't like that.
You do not like that.
No.
Yeah.
Why would they need to? They always viewed
they
themselves as
better hunters.
No, they viewed themselves as apex predators.
Yeah.
So why would they need to change if they've already become apex predators? I don't like that. I don't like that.
That's apparently a storyline.
No, my immediate reaction is I don't like that. We'll see if the movie changes my mind, but immediately I don't like that.
Yeah, and when I was looking at the synopsis on paper, they're like, these new enhanced predators come to a small suburban locale, and what do? That some kid has summoned them, and there's these PTSD soldiers who team up with a disgruntled science teacher.
I don't like it.
It sounds
I don't like that idea.
cheese as fuck to me.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
I've been so worried about this movie, and yet everybody's raving about the footage that they saw, but the concept on paper still bothers me and does not sound very compelling.
Then I have to say, if everyone's raving about the footage, I'll defer to that.
They said it looked bloody and crazy, and there was the snippy Shane Black dialogue, and everything seemed cool.
Okay.
But it's just the setting is what is bothering me the most, man. I don't know. It's...
the setting sounds stupid, but if people are reacting that well to the footage, I'll obviously give it a chance.
Yeah. Well, we have until September 14th, 2018, our birthday month, to check this out.
Birthday month.
And, so I'm very, very excited and trying to keep my fingers firmly crossed. I was also going to mention the fact that the Happy Time Murders, the crazy puppet R-rated insanity directed by Jim Henson's kid, Brian Henson, made some noise, and people said it is one of the most offensive R-rated Red Band trailers they've ever seen. Apparently, when Muppets spooge, it's confetti.
God. All right.
I can't wait to see this trailer. That's
Fair
all.
enough.
That's
the last story for you.
No. We're jumping to the last story now. And so the last story is about the fact that there is a Stephen King property from his Bachman years when he was writing under Richard Bachman that a lot of people didn't think could ever be adapted because of the fact that it's essentially about adolescent boys in their teens who...
Boys! Adolescent boys.
In the not too distant future, where there is totalitarian government. Yes, exactly. It's total Italian government. No, it's a totalitarian government, and they have obviously taken control.
Does Fuego ever keep his fingers loosely crossed?
No, I don't. I'm always very, very persistent.
Firmly crossed.
And fervent.
Always
yes.
firmly
fingers
crossed.
Firmly crossed, because I only cross my fingers if it's something I really want to see transpire.
I wish that was someone other than producer Dave that said that.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I only cross fingers if I really want something to happen.
Anyway. I like it.
Anyway, so, good job. So, The Long Walk is one of those Bachman books. It was released in 1979, and it's, that not too distant future, as I said, which is like full-on reality show about this totalitarian government making 100. So basically, there's 100 kids, 100 boys that are chosen.
I'm picturing it.
That are chosen to go on this walk. Okay. The winner of the walk gets anything they want, like money.
Sounds like PE class so far. What happens to the kid that takes twice as long to walk the couple miles?
Well,
I'm not saying that would be me. I'm just saying that might have been me.
This is how we weed people out. So the way that the game weeds people out is if you fall, if you do not keep a constant pace, you cannot fall behind the speed of 4 miles an hour.
Cecil is buzzed. Why does everyone like to point out that I'm buzzed?
And if you fall behind 4 miles an hour, you get a warning. Okay. Also, if you veer off of the path.
I'm already confused.
Also, if you 100 kids, all selected to walk on the long walk.
They're on a train going 30 miles per hour heading towards New York.
They're all walking.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
They're all walking, and if you fall behind...
I'm with you.
Yeah, you get a warning. If you veer off the path...
How many warnings do you get?
At your third one, you get shot and killed.
By who?
The government, which is like basically regulating
this whole thing.
The government is regulating this entire thing for
I'm out. This is a boring book. I don't like government stuff.
It's like very simple. It's very similar to The Running Man in the fact that it's like reality TV before reality TV. And we're talking like this is 1979 when this came out. So he was envisioning this big competition that would be nationally televised. Where
that is The Running Man.
Well, The Running Man came out a couple of years later, and yet that one was more like death style, like people killing each other as opposed to people competing and walking and stuff. Like there's certain kids.
Competing and walking does not fit in the same sentence to me in my brain.
Well, yeah, it's a walking. Well, I mean,
it's a walking competition.
It's a walking competition.
So someone's like,
yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean,
I'm gonna win. I walk faster than you.
Well, I mean, just like think of the.
I'm gonna win.
It's like a marathon without the running.
I just made myself a little bit dizzy doing that.
It's a marathon competition with just walking instead of running. And if you fall behind, you get killed as opposed to just being out of the race.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an easy way to describe it.
I'm gonna say sure because I'm dizzy.
Sure, why not? Careful, buddy.
I'm good.
But long story short, this is one that, ironically, Mr. The Mist and...
Mr. The Mist?
Well, no, Mr.
I would hate to have that name.
Mr. The Mist and Shawshank Redemption and, The Green Mile. We're talking Frank Darabont.
Stephen King? Okay.
Frank Darabont had wanted to adapt this, and he had possessed the rights for many, many years, but apparently he didn't get it into production in time, and the rights reverted back. And so this guy who did a movie called Trust, I don't know who the hell he is, but apparently he has found the rights to New Line, and so New Line Cinema, the same team that did Stephen King's It, the most recent incarnation, is going to be behind The Long Walk. Anyone who knows Stephen King and knows Bachman and stuff, I would imagine you could be very excited about The Long Walk finally being turned into it. Based on the violent nature of kids being killed, a lot of people thought that this would never be made. But I'm confident and I'm hopeful and excited about this one. So
I'm always hopeful to see kids die.
Because you don't have any.
All right, that was obviously a joke, and with that, I think that's as good a place as any to end this week's horror show news with booze.
Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that.
Oh boy, here we go, cramming another one in under the wire.
It's one that I
Go ahead.
It's one that I forgot to put.
Go ahead.
Lauren Cohen is officially coming back for season 9 of The Walking Dead. Despite everybody saying
I need to catch up on that.
Despite everybody saying that Maggie was
Dunzo
and she was doing some contract negotiations, that's actually the one thing I forgot to put in the news notes. But that was a brief one.
Sounds like a mistake.
Yeah, well, it's called a mistake.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. No.
Sorry.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this week's The Horror Show News with Booze. Let us know what you think about any and all of these stories in the comments down below if you're watching it later or if you're watching it right now. Why? But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, Jaime and Fuego.
And until next time, remember, stay scared. And I'm really not that drunk, guys. I'm really